Hi, I am back. Ugh, trying to get situated. It is cold, and I've been just chilling. I did all of my work yesterday. But anyways, my name is Elizabeth. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are returning, which it would be awesome. I posted a short not that long ago. I want to say like 4 days ago, maybe now. Of what my current reads were. And so, I was reading all of my Kindle Unlimited because honestly, I've been reading my physical books, but honestly, there's nothing that compares to a physical book when it comes to me. Like, I don't care. I have Audible and I have Kindle Unlimited, and even at that, give me a physical book any day, whether it's excuse me, whether it's hardcover or paperback. I eat it up. There's just nothing like the feeling of having a book in your hand. But with that being said, I don't really have the space for that right now, so I'm kind of just like scraping by, um, and just trying to like really enjoy Kindle Unlimited, which is hard because like I get migraines really easy, so it makes it kind of hard sometimes to read a lot of books. And I'm a very avid reader. Like, I read every day. Like, I could read every day last year, but there was just so much going on with my life. And so I made one goal this year, literally only one goal. And that, well, two, really. Listen to my body and have some rest and just take care of me, my emotions, my mental health. Just put everything on hold and just focus on me and my family. And that's been going fantastic. But as far as my reading, last year, I wanted to read a lot more than I did, but I still got through. I surpassed my goal. Last year, my reading goal was 12 books. So that was one book a month. And being a stay-at-home mom and wife who had a very busy life, like, we were always doing something. I was trying to make extra money and then moving and dealing with my grandma's death and funeral and all that. Like, I figured one book a month, especially with two kids under a certain age, it would be just ideal to just do 12 books. So that's one book a month. That's very doable. And then I was like, and I can do it between audiobook and physical books, so that's great. And if you had seen my other videos, I did hauls, and I had bought off of two different businesses on Etsy for my book hauls, which I'd never done a book haul. I just buy books and read them. But I loved the booktube community, and I want to be a part of it because, one, it's one of my hobbies. It's like a part. Okay, we're back. The kids came in, and my kids are not on camera. So whenever they come around or ask me something or need something, then I have to pause it. So I'm back. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, like, I surpassed my goal even with moving. I set it for 12, and I ended up reading like 42, I think. And that was also like a combination of audiobooks and physical books, or just reading and then listening. But to me, that was like amazing. I was like, holy crap. Like, I did not like force myself to read anything. I was just like, especially after dealing with my nanny's death, reading was just something that like really helped me cope, I guess, and like not be thinking about everything. And so, like, when I was younger, the reason I became a reader was because reading gave me a coping escape from my reality, because my childhood and my home life was not. How to pause again. We'll get through this eventually. Um, but it was just like a way to escape, and so I took a few years off. Okay, we should be good for a few minutes. If I cut off quick again, it's because the kid is running through the trailer. But anyways, pretty much just reading was a huge thing for me growing up. It was a way to escape. It was something that distracted my mind from everything that was going on. And it really saved my mental health a lot, because I was very depressed and very anxious all the time because of my childhood. And so I was a very avid reader. I'm pretty sure that I read every book almost in the small little library in the town that I did live in. And then when we moved to a different section of town, then they had a bigger library, and I'm pretty sure I read all of the young adult books and all of like the children's fiction, and I would also share books with my mother. We would read like Love Inspired and all of that. So like I read, and then we went to the thrift store. I would buy books there. I would buy books from the library sales, at yard sales, um, and people would just give them to me if they didn't read them. So I was an avid. I've always been an avid reader, but I did take a few years off, and so in the last 4.5 years, 4.5, 5 years, I've actually gotten back into it. I stopped reading. Well, I didn't stop reading. I just didn't read as much as I was used to from the time I was 17 because I was in a bad wreck, and so I had a hard time holding my books sometimes. So that really took down my reading, and then after that, just a lot of crap happened in my life. So life just made it to where like I couldn't I did not pick up books. I might pick up 1 or 2 books in a year. So it was like very low compared to what I was, and it really made me sad, and I really missed it. But just life was too crazy, and it just was not feasible for me. I was trying to work and everything else. So, anyways, past that spew. Um, I've been gradually throughout the years able to read more and more and really get back into it, and then I actually really quit. um, been getting back into it and actually being able to own books and read more. And so I surpassed it last year, and so this year is like I'm just not gonna do an eagle. I'm just going to read a little bit every day, whether it's 1 page, 5 sentences, or I read a whole book. Hey, knock it out, my puppy. Um, so that's like the only goal. Like I have to read a little bit every day, whether it's only a couple sentences, 1 page, or 12 chapters, or an entire book, like I did Greg Olson's. So give me a second, y'all. I'm sorry, my kid just keeps on running. Energy. What can I do? So got past that spew. So, um, about 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, I think it was only 4 days ago though, that I was reading Greg Olson. Never read any of his books. I didn't know what his style was. I didn't know what genre he was technically under, because I don't really look at genres. Normally, I just either read. I used to read the back of books, and I've gotten to where now I just like going in blind. I really don't like. I don't feel like I need to read the back. I just like to go in, and then as I read, then like I can decide whether the book's for me or not. So like, there's no point in reading the back because yeah, you can read the back, but even with that, what? Then okay, so the lighting is going to probably suck, but honestly, you're just gonna have to deal with it because I am tired. Kids are trying to go to sleep, and it's mommy time. And my husband's right here, but he's just gonna be in the shadows. They can't see you. Anyways, I don't remember where I was last time I was recording. It's been a good couple of hours since then.
Probably lost in a book.
No, I was updating what I rated my last reads and stuff, but honestly, I don't know. So, because I can't remember, we are going to go over. So, 4 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. Was it 3 or 4 days ago? That I was reading the mystery.
4 days ago.
4 days ago? Okay, yeah. So, 4 days ago, I was reading, the last thing she ever did, and I was talking about how the cliffhanger, I think I was talking about that. Anyways, the end of the book felt like a cliffhanger. Like, if it was part of a series, it would have been better, because at least you would have gotten answers the next book. But it's a standalone, and so I was left with more questions, and like, what do you mean that's all I get? Like, that's not how this was supposed to end, because I still have a lot of unanswered questions, and I want to know how the other character that was involved, this other person was involved, how they took it, and were they even honest, or did they pin it on the husband type of thing? But again, never going to get answers. And there was like nothing else. There was no like the aftermath after this and so many years later, or like nothing. So that sucked big time, and that also made it to where, like, I didn't rate it as high as I might have been able to if I would have gotten the answers, because then I wouldn't have been left with, like, more questions, and still, days later, I'm still like, I should have gotten answers. Like, I need answers, but I'm not going to get them. So, for that reason, it also made it a lower rating, because, I'm sorry, but if I'm reading a standalone, I want some sort of closure. Not, like, a tiny dab and then just done. End of book, no explanation, no extra add-on, like, no epilogue, like, nothing. So, that's why it was, like, a 3.5 star. I think that's what I rated, 3.5, 4 stars. Now, did I torture myself and go into a next one by Greg Olson? Yes, I did. Why? I don't know. But it was a Kindle Unlimited, and in my head, it's like I can't go wrong. You know? Like, you can't go wrong with it being free. If you don't like it, then you don't feel like you wasted your time type of thing, you know? Anyways, so I read that, but I also went into it blind, and that one I definitely should not have gone in blind, because the I wouldn't say theme of the books. It feels so wrong saying that because of the plot and like what was going on in the book. But it was a lot. It was really heavy. It dealt with like real life horrible situations. There was assault and like incest assault that was going on, and the like offing of people, which granted the people that were, you know, offed, they deserved it. I mean, offing somebody's not good. But honestly, like, you just gotta read the book. But at the same time, I feel so bad, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I can say, hey, go read this book, because there's a lot of triggers, like, a lot. Like, within the book itself, the characters deal with triggers, and then when you're reading it, like, I felt anger, and then I felt, like, hatreds towards some of the characters, because instead of, like, making the person be accountable for their actions, they were just, like, victim shaming or, like, making excuses. And that irks my nerves when people do that in real life. But, like, in a book, oh, I hate that so much. So, it was a very heavy book. And there's a few times I was like, I don't know. Okay. I don't know if I can stomach anymore. Like, this is a really heavy topic, and I feel like I need a break. But I did read it in one day, which was probably better, because then I was just like, done. You're gonna hear him squeaking. My puppy dog Bowie is playing in his kennel. I got him a little toy squeaky fish at Ross, and he absolutely loves it. Like, it is so cute. Anyways, I get so distracted by him. But anyways, I'm gonna take a drink, because I don't know about y'all, but when I talk, even when I'm talking slow to make sure I'm breathing, because I get anxiety, I get short of breath. I don't know why, but I do. That's better. So anyways, I finished that the same day that I finished The Last Thing She Ever Did. So I went Where You Live, and honestly, it was good, but it was bad. You know, it's just kind of one of those things that the topics were heavy, they're disgusting, they're horrible, and it happens in real life, which makes it even worse. You know, just it really just hits in here and like in your gut deep, like deep in your gut, and you're just like, oh. And the fact that it's real, just, it makes it that much more horrible and impactful, I guess. But I rated that 3.5 because I honestly did not think I could rate it anymore because of the subject matter and because of just like the material. Was it easy to read? Yes. Were some of the characters, I cannot speak, annoying? Yes, there was times where the characters were annoying. But, the husband of the main person, main character, she had an amazing husband who, it was sad though, because like in the book, the husband doesn't know the depths of her like past and her like trauma. Like he doesn't really know anything. Like he doesn't know what he's getting married into. And then like there's a family member that, you know, dies, and that's when everything starts coming to a head and things are getting found out, things are getting talked about, and it's just a lot of family drama and a lot of heavy topics that should not be involved.
It is crazy.
It felt like it. But there was multiple points of views, which I typically don't like. I can handle like maybe 3 or 4. Um, but any more than that, and I'm just like, there's just too many people. Like, I can't keep up. I don't have ADHD. It don't work like that for me. Like, some people can do it. Me, no, I can't. Like, after about 3, I'm like, okay, we're stretching it. But if you get 4 or more, I'm just like, oh my god, I can't do it. So that was kind of hard because there was the daughter, the sister, the mother, the grandma, and then the husband. And it was just a lot. Which, I mean, the dad was involved in the story, but he was more of like the side character because he wasn't really involved, and he never knew the secrets that everybody else in the family was hiding either, because they were like, no, we're not telling, because he's going to flip out and then he's going to blame this person and all this other crap.
Yeah.
But, what?
Nothing extra. What were you saying?
Oh. So, yeah. So that was my rating. That was my review. Now, am I going to read any more of Greg Olson? Honestly, I don't know. Like, there was 1 or 2 that I thought that I would read. Oh my god, he's really on that thing right now. There was 1 or 2. There was The Amish Wife or something like that, and then there was another one. I can't remember what it is. It's on Kindle. But that's even louder. But I don't know. If I do, I'll just say this. If I do read another one of his, then I am definitely going to read the summary, because lately, like I said earlier, I think I said this, I don't know, I'm really tired, but I think that I haven't been reading the summary of the book because I feel like going in blind has been like awesome. Like, I used to read the summary, and according to the summary of the book is whether I was gonna pick it up or not. Now, I'm just like, if I see the cover and it looks like something that I would like, then I just get it, or I just read it. Like, I don't read the summary, unless something seems or looks like it might be fantasy, because y'all are going to, like, attack me for this, because I know so many of y'all live for fantasy, like, romantasy, fantasy, all that. I don't do fantasy. So when it comes to a book, if I think it it seems like there might be just like the name of the character or the name of the book or the artwork on the front page, if it looks like it's fantasy, I'm gonna read the summary and find out first, because again, I'm not that much into fantasy. Like, the most fantasy, if you even call it that I'm into is like the werewolves and the vampires. So like Vampire Diaries and Twilight, which I've never read the Vampire Diaries, but I have watched and I've read 2 of the books in the Twilight series, like when it was like, it was years ago. It was like 2016. Yeah, 2016. I read Twilight and then half a New Moon. Or all of it, I can't remember. But then I had my rec. So whatever I read before my rec, I don't remember. And I have not gotten to it since then. So, like, I do watch the Vampire Diaries, though. And I've watched all of the Twilight. But honestly, I feel like I read Twilight first, and then I watched the Twilight movie. And after watching the Twilight movie and then the New Moon, I was like, you know what? The books definitely do way better than the movies. I enjoy the books so much better. So I'm excited to read the Vampire Diaries, because I feel like those are going to be really good. I'm going to get the Vampire Diaries like complete set, and then I'm going to get crap. Not Damon. I forgot what's his name. Ugh. But anyways, Damon's brother. I'm having like the biggest brain farts today. But you guys know who I'm talking about. His diary set, because I found it on Amazon, and then I found it at World of Books, I think it was. So excited for that. But anyways, getting back to it. So, yeah. If I do get into another Greg Olson book, I'm going to just read the summary, because I don't think I can emotionally, and like just emotionally mostly, but mentally handle another heavy book that had the themes and like the main plot, and another book like that, because that was too much. But yeah, so that was what I read. I read those back to back, and in 2 days I read them. And then I am currently on Haunting Adeline. I don't know if it's going to actually show you, because my phone camera has been crappy, and I'm waiting to get my battery charger for my camera that I'm going to be using, and then I'm going to have to figure that out, but for right now we're using this, so you'll have to bear with me, but that's what I got, so we're working with it. But I'm on chapter 9. I think I'm almost, wait, am I, yeah. So I'm on chapter 9, and I'm on page 114, so I'm like 19% done. It's on Kindle Limited, but I'm reading the first book of that, and I'm going to be honest right now, I told my husband I was spewing it because I don't have any friends to spew it to. So he's like the person I go to for all my book stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he pretends he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And he's like, yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, uh-huh. And I'm like, you have no idea, but you know what? I appreciate the effort. But right now, I'm on page 114 of 565, according to what Kindle Unlimited says. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed right now, which I'm giving it another like 140 some pages. I was at 106 when I told him I was going to read 144 pages more because I would make it another 150 pages even. And then I'm going to see if I'm invested enough to finish the book, because one, it's on Kindle Unlimited, so it did not cost me a dime to read this. And between the second book that I'm reading, because I'm reading another book right now currently, while listening to it, but I'm reading Haunting Adeline, and then I'm listening on Audible. I'm listening to Unspeakable by Kevin O'Brien, I think it is. And honestly, Adeline, or Haunting Adeline, it's okay. I mean, I've made it to 114, but I feel like it's taken me like crawling pace to just read a couple of pages. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we only get one chapter, maybe two for lucky, for the shadow, as he's called, the stalker. And then for her, the manipulator in the chapters is what she's called, we get like 2 to 3. And so like it's not really that much evening out to me. And granted, there's only 2 point of views, which I enjoy because that's a lot easier for me to really dive in and get like attach myself to the characters in the book. But just the way it is right now, like the setup and like their life going on, there's not a whole bunch that really speaks out. Like they're not doing a whole bunch of like actual living, going out and doing their lifestyle, like working or going and hang out with friends that much. It's like there's only 2 events that's even slightly happened so far with Adeline, and then her stalker. Like there's not much going on still. So I feel like there's just a lack of like life in there, you know? So I'm still gonna read till I get 150 more chapters in. And then by then, if I haven't really been able to really catch on and really like the characters in the book and really just feel like I'm actually getting somewhere and like actually grabbing a hold of the book and the like characters and stuff, I'm just not gonna finish it because I downloaded on Kindle Limited Haunting Adeline and then Hunting Adeline. And at this point, if I can't grab onto it, it's not a waste of my money. So we're just going to get rid of them both. Which is a good thing that I'm reading it on Kindle Limited because it is on my wish list. And I'm glad I'm reading it first because I was like, I don't want to read it, I want the physical copy. But right now I'm kind of glad I'm not because it's not living up to my expectations because I like dark romance. I like I've read, I feel like enough to know how much of a dark romance I like. But honestly, I'm just kind of bored with this. That might sound terrible if you like read it or you know a little bit about it because it's like really he's like taking people out right now. But he's taking bad people out, so I feel like it's not that bad. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just not really capturing my want to keep reading. So we're going to do 150 extra pages, and by then, if I don't like it, they're both just going to be returned. And then we're just going to go on to my next book because I currently am reading through my Kindle Unlimited books, like I said earlier, because I don't have a lot of physical books, and honestly, I was reading through them really fast because I have a lot of good physical books on hand. So it's just kind of like, I don't want to go through them a whole bunch right now because then I'm going to be left with no physical books, and that is just going to be too much for my heart. I can't do that. So I downloaded like the maximum of Kindle Limited, which was 20, and I'm just reading through them right now. So And then I'm listening to Unspeakable, which honestly I tried reading it because I like to switch back and forth between reading and listening because I don't know, it just doesn't something to my brain. And it just like I don't know, it just makes it easier for me to get through the books half the time because one, I'm a mom, and two, it's just like I listen to it, and listening to somebody else sometimes helps me whenever I'm like having a difficult time getting into the book, having somebody's voice be like talk about it. I'm like, ooh, okay, like good. But not having that for the other book, being able to go back, bounce back and forth, just like Haunting Adeline, it's just really difficult for me right now. And I feel like I'm on the verge of just like not want to read any books because these two are just, ugh. Like they're not terrible, but they're just not great for me. And which is sad, but that never hardly ever happens to me. Like I don't really ever have books that I'm just like, I don't know if I can like finish this. I don't want to finish it at this point, and then I push myself to try to see if I can like it. And if not, I'm just gonna get like I'm done. So this is the first time for me. I feel like so I'm like I don't even know how to feel about that right now. Like being a reader that I have been in my life, I'm just like this never happens. Like I always finish a book. I always enjoy it. So I don't know. I feel like maybe I hype myself up too much with Haunting Adeline because I've seen other people talk about it, and I was like, yes, it's under a genre that I really like, the theme I like, and I'm kind of disappointed. And then Unspeakable, there is just so much going on. Like, if you haven't read or listened to it, it's a lot. Which I'm glad that it's a free Audible book because um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish that either because honestly, there's just way too many characters. There's the therapist, there's um main male character, and then you have the therapist that's trying to help him, and then the people in his life, the things that are happening to them, the people he's meeting.
What?
The people he's meeting, the things that are happening to these people, the people that are like, I don't know if they're stalking him. I don't know if they're the ones doing all these bad deeds to the people that know him that are talking about him. I don't know if they're the reason like his mom got offed or what. Like there's just so many. There's his grandma and grandpa, and then like he's a movie actor or was a teen actor. And so there's just like so many people and so many things going on that it's like really hard. Like you're in this scene and the next minute you're in this scene, and it's just like I don't feel like there's enough intertwining and enough coming together, and it's just like one thing after another, but I don't know how they actually fit in together. So it's just like really hard for me to be like, I love this book, like I'm really invested. And so it's like really hard between these two books because I'm just like I feel like I'm dragging, and I don't ever drag in books. So I don't know if it's a me thing and I'm just like just because I'm tired and I'm just like emotionally like ooh, or if it's the books, which it's okay if it's the books, but it's kind of sad. So that's the reading update I have for y'all, and then I will update you when I have something more. But that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna finish reading, and we'll see if I can get more invested in these books, and if not, I will update y'all with a new read. But anyways, thanks for watching, and that's all I got for you. That's all he's got. My dog was actually quiet. But anyways, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you didn't, oh well.
See you later, losers. You can cut that
but,
out.
But let me know what you guys are currently reading. And if you have any recommendations, because I'm open to things. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm not against fantasy, but like it depends. I don't even really care about like the Fae world and stuff like that. But like I guess if it has werewolves or dragons and stuff like that, I might be open to it. But I don't really read a lot of magic stuff either. I don't do the witch stuff. But if you guys have recommendations, like I'm trying to get out of the bubble because I really just read historical fiction period, but like historical war fiction, like the frontier, like the Oregon Trail and stuff like that. And then I also just read romance, cowboy or small town romance, just all kinds of things. So yeah, if you have any recommendations or you want to let me know what you're currently reading, I would love to know. And maybe we can become friends and read together because I don't have friends that read really. So it would be really cool if I could find some people that could be part of my little family and we could read together. Ow, my nail. Anyways, I'm going to read. I'm going to relax for the night. And thanks for joining me. And I will see you next time. Bye.